Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, rather. Still good morning. Kumusta?
Okay lang, sir.
Hello.
Hapon. Good afternoon, sir.
Maing hapon. It's nice to see some of you here attending in this knowledge deepening. But anyway, we already uploaded all the material for the first week, particularly for 4 topics, no? On technology-based flexible learning framework and models, tips for the transition, down to strategies for limited face-to-face. All activities, quiz 1 and exercise 1 are also visible. So please browse them. And if you have further questions, you can actually ask questions now, or you can just drop into our forum. As mentioned, or as part of the instruction, you need to perform prior activity. In other words, hindi pwedeng shortcut, no? Hindi pwedeng shortcut because you have to follow through the order of succession of the learning process. So for this afternoon, I will be talking about or reviewing what we have posted in the virtual classroom. My topic is all about technology-based flexible learning framework and models. We divided my presentation into 3. What is flexible learning and the forms of technology-based flexible learning. Then the last topic was recalibrating instructional plan. And I also shared in our virtual classroom 2 points of summary that talks about the flexible learning design. No, just to highlight that flexible learning design is deeply rooted on student engagement, deeply rooted on the most flexible design options, no, in our delivery online distance learning. I also emphasize in my discussion that a flexible learning has to be structured because of its flexibility. It's so difficult to have focus and to have emphasis if the flexible learning design that we implemented in our school doesn't have any structure. So it has to be structured, and we have to follow certain frameworks, certain models and approaches, again with high regard on the stakeholders engagement. Stakeholders, it doesn't mean only for learners or the students or our pupils, but including our parents, including our partners, including our collaborators, including our parents teachers association, and so on and so forth, because after all they are all part in our journey in the teaching and learning process. In my video also, I added the third point, that recalibration of institutional and classroom policies must be conducted. That is why our exercise 1 is actually talks about the transition that we did, no? That talks about the transition that we did um, during our delivery during the first semester, or last school year 2020-2021. For those who are here, for the 5 participants who are here, um, I have a little poll. Maybe you can. I just wanted to know this. What is the level of your preparedness when you teach online distance learning in the school year 2020-2021? Just for the purposes of exercise, how prepared you were you are when you when you have to shift from the face to face to flexible learning, technology enhanced flexible learning. No, it would be nice. So at least we are ready, no? And that implies actually that implies that our school did also the part, no? Our school perform also its duties by perhaps making us teachers more ready, and and be equipped with the necessary competency and skills in online distance teaching. No, for Floren, this is my first year of online teaching. Po, that's fine. Do you feel that you're ready, Floren, Ruth? What do you think? Do you feel that you're ready? Yes, a little, no? A little. That is why we are here today, or we are here in this open online course for us to learn the online distance teaching. Because after all of us were actually not ready, no? All of us were not ready when IATF said lockdown, schools need to stop, and so on and so forth. No, just like for Siliman also, we were not ready at that time. Although we've been doing a lot of we've been doing a lot of preparations prior to COVID, or technology retooling prior to COVID, but the COVID, the essence or the existence of the virus is totally different from the way we do online learning. I started way back 2013. We offered actually an online distance teaching also. An open online course for teachers is purely online. We tried to cultivate teachers to learn and perform professional development via online, but it was not that very successful. No? Because not all teachers are, shall we say, familiar with the kind of methodology, with the kind of the pedagogy in online distance teaching. Thank you for participating the poll. um, I in the resources that I posted, I also shared a supplemental reading. You may want to read further about flexible learning. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed education forever. It is a publication from the World Economic Forum that talks about how COVID-19 accelerated um, e- education reform. No, there was a reform, there is a reform, and there will be a continuing reform that will occur because of COVID and because of this global pandemic. Way back 2015, I we published also a paper that talks about the barriers to open online learning in the Philippines, and it's so exciting, so exciting to learn, considering that at that time people are, ano ba yung online open online course na yan? I feel that I'm not effective, I cannot learn something, and so on and so forth. But right now we have no choice, right? We have no choice because that's really the trend now, and and it's and it's and it's really the and it is really the new normal of learning. Okay, and in that paper, in the measuring barriers to open online learning in the Philippines, we listed several barriers that teachers encounter when they attended the open online course that we delivered way back 2013. No, It's actually like this. It's a 5 week open online course, and then only few graduated, only few completed, and I hope not only the 8 participants will graduate, because we are 10 here, one for my staff and one for myself. So I hope many out of the 200 plus participants, many will really complete this online open online course that we offered. Um, just for the purposes of exercise, talking about the barriers, talking about the limitations, per your experience, as of the moment, for I think how many meetings, for the 3 meetings we have, or for the number of days that you've been logging into our LMS, what are the major, or what is the major problem or challenge or limitation that you encountered um, in the transition process, or at least maybe in our virtual classroom? What's the challenge, or let's have the context na lang. When you move from face to face to online, what was the biggest challenge during that time, and how did you mitigate the problem? You can answer it by typing on the chat box. What is the problem? Internet connectivity, or competency in the delivery, or you don't know how to start online distance teaching, the internet accessibility? What? For sure, you encountered a problem before. Can you share one? The technical know-how, the use of customized LMS, connectivity problem. No, so technology know-how, internet connection, parents are not ready to embrace the change. I like this. Internet connectivity, wala kaming universal. I mean, anong tawag nito? Pang beauty pageant na question 'yan or problem 'yan. Universal problem. Hindi lang tayo ang may problema niyan, but it's global. The important thing is we should be able to identify. So if the other countries are experiencing internet problems, so within the Philippines, but I guess just to pick up also, parents are not ready to embrace this change. That is really really true. Um, um, Parents are, sometimes parents are so dependent in school, and not just parent actually, but our stakeholders are not ready, and our stakeholders are not used to the nature of, shall we say, resiliency. We might be resilient, but technologically adept, and the know-how, it might not be that, stabilized at that time. The instructors were not trained to do online teaching before the pandemic. Very valid, very valid. Why? Because we were taught we attended schooling. We attend schooling for how many years? We finish our elementary, high school, college, master's, PhD in face to face. And then we are teaching for how many years? And then in just 2 months, perhaps 2 to 3 months, we were trained to do online teaching, and then that's it. And it's not that easy, I know for sure. No, and that's totally really difficult. And why it is difficult? Because the nature and I think the most challenging one is our learners are not ready in an online distance learning. Do you agree? Do you agree that yes, Ma'am Genevieve, do you agree, right? Yeah, very, very much agree. And
Yes, sir. It's because of the fact that the pupils are not used to it, as well as here in our school, we used to have the what do you call this, yung we are giving the lectures online, and then pagdating dito sa school, doon na nila gagawin yung assignment. Like, it's called, I forgot the right term. Basta I forgot the right term, but we're doing that po. And since because this is a remote area, our internet connection is not that fast, kaya nahihirapan po yung mga bata to cope, as well as with the parents po.
yeah, I can feel you. My job is actually I'm the director of Silliman Online University Learning. It's technically the entire university. We are catering the entire university, and I think the most challenging one are coming from the parents. I mean, parents are not ready, learners are not ready, because for us teachers, with our creativity and with our resiliency in teaching, we can actually do something about it. Not that fluid, not that very seamless, but for sure with our own initiative, creativity, and etc. I feel that that was manageable. I think the most difficult part is readiness among our learners. They were shocked. This
Stakeholders.
is online, and they are not familiar with the nature of the strategy. They don't even understand what is synchronous learning, remote learning, and so with the teachers also, because of the little knowledge that we have in an online distance teaching. And it sounds what is this, so easy, but it was difficult. I know it was difficult. Maybe I can we can ask Ma'am Loveline, preparation of learning experiences appropriate. Maybe Ma'am Loveline also can share with us what her thought about. Yes, please
Yes,
go ahead.
yes po. Good afternoon po. Yes,
Good afternoon.
just like everybody, we experience the difficulty of preparing lessons or strategies for our students fit to online teaching and learning. Parang kasi very different from face to face, then biglang online. Yung pong mga dating pinapagawa ko sa classroom, hindi na po siya okay sa harap ng computer, ng gadget. So it takes time to really prepare learning experiences na hindi masasacrifice yung learning ng mga estudyante natin. We don't just give assignments, readings, nilagay mo sa LMS and then yun na yun. Hindi pa rin po ganon kasi I as the teacher, I also read first the resources online. Tas wala pang e-library, just like that sa mga online resources lang po yung aming ginagamit minsan, and alam po natin hindi naman po lahat iyon ay pwede nating ilagay din sa ating LMS. So napakahirap po, tapos mga strategy din, pati mga estudyante napapagod. Doon mo makikita na hindi nga talaga siya pang online. Alam ko online siya kasi ginawa ko sa face to face, but then I realized hindi rin pala. So yun po, napakahirap po na himay-himayin yung mga available resources sa online din po. Thank you. Wala po kayong sound, sir.
So fascinating to hear experiences like those. Why? Because for one, all of us were not ready. And the second, the fact that we are teachers and we are expected to deliver as what is being expected. That was really the challenge, no? And then, ako naman, really into an ICT in education. I teach online prior to COVID. I can feel the teachers struggling what is the most appropriate, especially if nababasa lang yung mga strategy, especially yung hindi talaga nakapag hands-on, iba talaga yung nakapagturo ka prior to what you have read, no? And the most important thing there is we learn from, shall we say, mistakes and the challenges. After all, in online instructional design or any form of instructional designing, is always a cycle naman. It's just that the findings of my study is we spend so much time to test, retest, pilot, and made a mistake before we come to realize na ay hindi pala siya ganon. Understandable why? Because you or many of us don't have so much references as to what is really the real score in this kind of pedagogy, in this kind of
Yes
in
po.
this kind of strategy, no? Halimbawa, siguro when you transition, sabi mo, okay, I will go asynchronous, pero vague yung description ng activity. Tapos pag
Yes,
na-deliver
opo.
nangangapa na, hala, ano pala gagawin ko? Kulang pala ito, and so on and so forth. And that is the time that you will fill in the gap based on the experience. Sabi ko nga, parati kong sinasabi na, ito kasing online distance teaching in an emergency is para siyang reverse engineering eh. You just have your objective and then go to the field, and then as a teacher, we are creative. Our creativity will come in, and then that's the time that we would like to fill in. But and tama ang sinabi ni ma'am na students were tired, and so with the teachers. No? Students were tired, and all of us were tired also. Why? Because we don't know what to do, no? Pag sinabing pre-recorded lecture, o sige, pre-record si teacher, 4 a.m. nagigising or natutulog kasi mag-prepare ng materials, tapos nagdi-deliver naman online, and so on and so forth. All of these things, no, were happening. And we document this. My laboratory, my team, we're doing a research into this as to how we could improve online distance learning. And we have a checklist from the ground, coming from the experiences of the zero knowledge into online distance teaching to at least in the new normal of teaching now, teaching in an online environment. Ang nakikita kasi namin is the challenge is number one talaga technical, no? Technical know-how. Pangalawa talaga is aside from the technical, what we found out also is readiness, the learning style of our students. The learning style of our students, the learning environment, they're not ready into that. After all, palagi kong sinasabi na when they enrolled, alam nila na yung curriculum nila is pang face-to-face. And it's so unfair na copy and paste to the LMS kung ano yung syllabus mo in the face-to-face. No?
Opo, may tendency pong ganun dati.
Oo.
Pero hindi pala okay, hindi siya okay.
Hindi talaga okay, no? Ang sinasabi lang. Anyway, we've been teaching this for 20 years. I have my syllabus. I can just copy and upload it, and yun na yun. No, hindi. During the transition, I always in the university we did a transition. We document all the transitions because sabi ko I still had hope last year that baka may time pa na maibalik natin to the students yung na-miss na mga learning outcomes. So for example, not all, halimbawa, I'm talking to the college here. Halimbawa, meron tayong objective doon na to set up something. Halimbawa, in an agriculture that they have to plant. Sabi ko to the agriculture, so hindi talaga pwedeng i-deliver natin ito online. We have to remove that learning objective. Just place it somewhere and then pag okay na tayo, let's find ways na ibalik natin yung learning outcomes na yan and then we will deliver it in the future, perhaps in the limited face-to-face or in a blended learning. The point is we should go into the process of transition. If we miss that, if we feel na yung online distance teaching is just a platform, doon tayo magka-problema. Kasi ang iniisip ni teacher ay walang problema yan. I have a slide. Ginagamit ko na yung slides na yan for 5 years. Pwede pa ba kaya ito in my online distance teaching? Ganun yung mga realization ng mga teachers natin. One of my colleagues studied about the most used resources in an online distance teaching. And our study shows that yes, it's PowerPoint, but it has to be not more than a certain number of slides. It has to be shorter. It has to be complete. Di ba sa face-to-face keyword, usually keyword lang yung nilagay natin. In an online distance teaching, hindi na pwedeng keyword lang. Hindi maintindihan ng estudyante pag walang kasamang discussions. In the face-to-face kasi normally, like ako, pag gumawa ako ng mga slides, it's basically keywords and then I'll do the discussion. But in an online distance teaching, there has to be a certain way of discussing those texts that are visible on those screen. Going back to students and teachers who are tired. We are also exhausted in terms of our screen time. We are also exhausted because we miss to carefully and deliberately measure screen time in all our exercises. Kasi hindi natin yan ginagawa during the face-to-face, di ba? Even when we give homework, hindi naman tayo yung sinasabi, okay, yung homework na ito, enough ito for 5 hours. Sinong gumagawa niyan? Wala, di ba? Pag tayo naman teacher kasi when we go to school, okay, assignment, homework. Hindi na tayo nag-iisip ilang oras gagawin yan ng estudyante. Meron tayong topic actually measuring screen time. We give some tips how we could measure screen time, and we found out in our study that the most abused activity in an online distance teaching is asynchronous time. Asynchronous time, that is where so much computer screen exposure is happening because teacher did not think anymore of how much time is spent to a particular assignment, homework, or asynchronous activity. You will learn that more. That's part actually of our discussion. That's actually a very interesting topic because you will come to realize, my God, I'm teaching, if in college we are teaching 54 hours for a lecture class, we found out na may mga teachers yung screen time nila 200 plus, 100 plus because of the assignment. Because when I ask, okay, itong assignment, how many hours ito? Estimated mga 3 hours. Oh, you just imagine, you give a 3 hours assignment in a week. Plus, you deliver pa synchronous. Things like those. You will learn that more because that is a very interesting topic, learning how to measure or calculate our synchronous time. Thank you for sharing. Ma'am Genevieve also mentioned about flipped classroom. Yes, ma'am, flipped classroom in a face-to-face is totally different from the face-to-face in an not totally, but there is a deviation, there is a variation rather of a flipped classroom in an online distance teaching. Okay, much more if flipped classroom has a different face value in a blended learning. No, our topic next week actually is instructional designing. We will be sharing with you the different instructional designing as far as online distance teaching is concerned. And That's but I guess at the end of the day, I'm happy because we survived, right? And let's give ourselves a round of applause to that. We have to thank ourselves. We have to thank God actually because we were able to survive. And I call that kind of philosophy as a digital resiliency. That's what we advocate right now, that teachers should be able to reach to the level of resiliency. And when I say resiliency, uh, that's the point where pag walang internet connection, hindi na tayo natataranta. O, 'di ba? 'Di ba dati pag nasa Zoom na tayo, tapos pag may mga technical problem, natataranta na with all those number of students and the parents, especially in the lower level, no, early childhood, elementary, yun talaga yung mga parents. I'm actually a father of a kinder one. Today is the first day of my son, and my God, it's abay salute. Any kindergarten teachers here? Kaway-kaway pag merong mga kindergarten teachers here. Wow! Ma'am, lovely. Yeah, my first day, and I tried to assist my son. Parang naubusan na ako ng pasensya. I teach in the college, but my
Opo.
my point, yeah, my
Pareho
point
po.
is
College, and then dati po sa preschool ako, although early childhood major po ang aking course. Matagal po ako
Oh.
naging preschool teacher
wow.
since
Wow.
1998.
Wow. And my salute to preschool teachers, because I could not imagine my very kulit son can get attention. I have a research right now. We're doing student engagement and attention span. And then, as if when I write my research, I keep on relating it to my experience, to the future experience I will gain from my son in Kinder 1, how teachers in the kindergarten can get the attention of an online learners, 4 years old, 5 years old. That's a very interesting that's a very interesting topic. So that's one. um um Before I will end our discussions, just to explain to you our exercise one. Our exercise one, which we posted in the virtual classroom, is basically encapsulate unit one, the one that mentioned, that we discussed a while ago, the transition process, yung mga na-experiment natin with our class. We just want you to share, or perhaps you can do this in your future classes, no, or in your classes, documenting or calibrating your syllabus is a very very important factor. Yun nga kanina I said, hindi pwede yung syllabus in the face to face automatically just i-share lang or upload lang in the LMS. Let me share what we have posted in the virtual classroom so that I can explain further on how to work or how to perform your exercise one. Exercise one, this is an activity that will help you perform the preparation process. So this is our exercise one, no? Just an introduction. So this exercise, let me increase the font. So in this exercise, you are going to demonstrate a calibration process. The first thing that you will do is identify a course or a subject. Let's say, for example, if you are in prep, let's say, for example, about colors. No, for sure, may a certain topic, subject can be done, a topic also can be done. And then indicate the revisions of your teaching guide, lesson plan, or syllabus. Below is the suggested format. If you have a better way to illustrate the modifications, please do so. At Siliman, this is what we follow. So for example, the subject, ano yung name? What is the name of the subject? You will incorporate it here. And then, the learning outcomes or the objective, did you revise that? No? So what's the original? And then, ano yung revision? The same, topic. No? Then, ano yung revision? TL, teaching and learning activities and the requirement. Ano yung mga revisions? The evaluation, yung assessment. Ano yung mga assessment? Formative ba? Majority, summative? And what about in the revisions for the ODL and others? I'll give you an example. No? So halimbawa, the subject is basic networking. I'm in the IT, so this is my illustration so that I can also illustrate that there is really a need to revise, no, our syllabus. So for example, the learning outcomes, LO, learning outcomes, yung sa original, yung before COVID, ang nailagay sa syllabus is install a local area network. In the revisions, in my discussion, sabi ko actually that I posted, there is a so-called digital Bloom's taxonomy. May mga verbs na na-change, not really na-change, but its appropriateness have changed because it cannot be done in the online distance learning. So halimbawa sa ganito, install a local area network. Hindi pwedeng gawin yan in the online distance learning. Another common example nito is halimbawa, you're teaching perhaps medical or your subject is, anong tawag ba nito? In the medical technology. Halimbawa, the learning outcomes is extract blood. Hindi naman pwedeng gagawin yan in the online distance learning. So, paano mo siya na-revise? Okay? And then, ano yung mga topics? So, sa original, perhaps 15 subtopics. Sa online distance learning, 9 subtopics na. Okay? And then, the teaching and learning assessment and requirements. So, halimbawa, in the original, in a group of 3 students, students will set up a LAN using a rubric. So, in the ODL, hindi na siya applicable. Hindi pwedeng mag-group and then set up. No? Individually, students will be required to submit a screen recording video during the simulation process they conducted. And then, the assessment, moving exam. Hindi na pwedeng moving exam in the online. Oral recitation through a web or video conferencing. And the grading system, the original, I mean before COVID, major exam is 30%, quiz is 20%, final project is 50%. Now, because we delivered in via the learning management system, so we have to incorporate that the student can participate in the forum, assignment, and so on and so forth. So if the face-to-face, we said all references are found in the main library, hindi pwedeng the same pa rin. So sabi na, pwedeng sabihin na all references are available online. See the attached virtual classroom policies. Those are some examples, okay? Those are some examples. This is for you to exercise, to really force yourself. Kasi to be honest with you, alam ko naman na hindi ito na-follow. Not all teachers are doing this. Why? Because we were so panic. We were so panic in such a way that, oh my God, I have my LMS. Anong gagawin ko? I don't know anong gagawin, no? Willing si teacher, but sa sobrang daming gagawin, nakaligtaan na ito. And then, ano yung nai-upload is the old syllabus with the face-to-face environment. And when a certain topic or week will reach, doon na ma-realize na, hala, hindi pwedeng ma-achieve ang learning outcome. For the purposes of this exercise, you don't need to submit the entire syllabus. No, but we advise you to do this exercise. This will help you. I'll tell you, colleagues, this will help you make your life easy when you teach online distance learning. Kasi first day pa lang, alam mo na ano yung mga gagawin mo at ano yung mga i-prepare mo. Just like a component in your in your teaching guide, in your lesson plan, in your syllabus to showcase the calibration process. So for example, you may submit only the grading system part, a performance task that you revise, or will revise, no? Kasi sir, hindi namin yan nagagawa, no? It's okay, yung will revise. If you feel na kailangan nyo nang gawin today or this time, please do so because I'll tell you this will guide you. Write your answers in any word processing, MS Word, OpenOffice. Make sure just to convert it into a PDF file, um, a portable file, no PDF file. You can, if you don't know how to convert, may link tayo dyan. And then you can upload you can upload your first exercise in the submission area that we posted. May questions ba? Clear lang ba ang assignment? Ang exercise 1. Again, we totally understand that we are all busy. Again, we don't expect you to submit the full syllabus, but if you feel to submit your full syllabus, and then if you need our guidance, let us know, because we also suggest, no, halimbawa meron kang nilalagay for ODL and then alam namin na violate ang isang learning component or na violate ang isang philosophy in an online distance teaching, we can actually give comment if you will allow us to comment also your syllabus. We can help each other, no? That's what I did actually in some other university. They get me to really QA their syllabus in terms of adherence to what is the ideal preparation for the online distance teaching. I saw actually the thumbs up, so I guess the exercise is understandable, and we feel that is manageable, no? Because all you have to do is to just copy and paste what you have, perhaps copy and paste what you had, or wala pa kasing mag-copy and paste, or maybe plan out, no? After learning, you will learn. After reading all the materials for this week, I hope you can make your material better and your lesson plan better also, because okay lang yung last year, pero ngayon hindi na siya pwedeng hindi na prepared si teacher, kasi nga natapos na tayo ng isang cycle and we realize so many things from the experiences on the ground. Okay? Anyone who would like to share? Siguro hindi pa natin nababasa yung mga materials that we uploaded. After reading, perhaps you can give your questions tomorrow in our second facilitator. Yeah, I will be your facilitator for tomorrow. So I will see you tomorrow. Being the topic for tomorrow is about the transition from ODL to limited face-to-face. Okay? Pag walang questions, let's have a photo opportunity as our documentation for the day. You can switch on your video. Sir, is this a guideline for trial and errors in this kind of setup? There is no really like a black and white guideline. There is no, but there is a so-called QA assessment. Meaning, if you are running in an LMS, there are really items to check. And when we say QA, like it has to be present in most of the time. No, you will learn that when we reach on the topic on quality assurance, no? Quality assurance in developing an online distance learning. Yung sabi ko lang kanina na na trial and error is wala tayong magagawa. Wala tayong magagawa than to do really a trial and error, because yun nga, one is we are in a very limited time, and at the same time we are in a situation where everyone is still struggling learning this kind of teaching and learning. Okay, sige, I'll do the gallery view and switch on your video, and then we can have our photo opportunity. We're only few, so this is only one page. So maybe just a 3 second. In three, two, one, smile. Okay, thanks everyone, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you po.
Salamat po.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Sir.
Thank you, sir. God bless.